Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Haha. Let's see who gets in the chat first. And if you tune in afterwards, this is a live broadcast. I found that I can listen to my broadcast pretty well if I put them at 1.25 speed. And since I know I'm going to say it, one and a half speed usually works. Since I don't put any videos or whatnot on here. Just a little tip for people that want to get through, get information, and get on about their business. But if you're just listening to the video, you can listen to it at its regular speed. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the Obama Library. I'm going to talk about AOC street walking. That's not what you think. I don't know. And whatever else I got in the title there. Let me see what's going on here. Ha. Oh, dropped my glasses. All right, we got some people in the chats. Let me see where my chats are. I went on this particular. There we go. Comments. All right, this particular site tonight. Hi, Bubba. Hi, Sharon. Chicken Grandma. Sharon got here first, Bubba. I'm sorry. Ha ha. Chicken Grandma's third. That's okay, folks. But we're going to talk about a number of things. I'll tell you one trick they pulled. And news reports are like, oh, the judge disallowed Biden's student debt forgiveness program, and he used very strong terms. Yeah, within hours after the end of the election. Going up into the election, everybody's going, oh, we're going to get our student loans forgiven. And anybody with a brain in their head, like the nice folks in the chat, myself included, knew that he couldn't just do something like that via executive order. Now, Trump, he took $5 billion from funds that were already allocated to build the wall, but they were already approved by Congress and he had discretionary funds. So we knew that that was a red herring. It was put up there to gin up the vote, which didn't matter because they still got swamped. I don't care what anybody says. I got a thumbnail. I'm going to put on this video when I'm done. It says swamped losers, because as we see these results coming in, Kari Lake's doing good, and they're losing. They're losing the Senate, and they have lost the House. That's a swamping to me. That's a red wave to me. I thought I heard that cat doing something. Wait a minute. Where is that cat? Oh, she's sleeping on a chair. Something else going on out there. Anyway. So, it is a PSY-Op on both sides of what's going on. Let me see. Cindy forward. Hi, Doug. Trying to keep up with everybody coming in the chats. But I want to get to, I'll finish up this Biden loan forgiveness thing. I'm sure a lot of you may have seen where they put out polls showing people, what was it, 18 to 25, turned out record numbers for that age group. The young people usually don't go out and vote as much as the more mature persons. But this time they did. Say you got a student loan of $50,000, and you know you're the type of bum that doesn't mind the rest of the world paying your bills. You will go and you will go to the kitchen table and get your ballot and fill it out and take it to a drop box. You know, fill them all out. How many, you got? So you'll do that kind of work, that level of work, so somebody will pay your $50,000 or $100,000 student loan in advanced basket weaving and uh, I can't say the the other degrees they get without probably getting in trouble. But so you see that was held there till hours after the election before it was, oh, well, sorry, I can't do it because a Trump appointed judge stopped me. Well, the fact of the matter is you can't do that for the budget. You can't do that with money that hasn't been voted on by Congress. Let me get a sip of my coffee. Boy, that's good. I wish I had me some dark chocolate and peanut butter. I love that. Coffee, dark chocolate, and peanut butter. Give it a try. But you will have to pay taxes on that discount. Well, you pay taxes on $50,000. You're still getting 70% of your debt paid if you pay 30% taxes on your windfall. Okay, so you're still getting $35,000 at least, but they'll get so many write-offs. They'll write off what they spent in charging their electric scooters to go pick up their Bernie Sanders signs. All this kind of crazy stuff, and they ain't gonna pay nothing anyway. These people don't pay taxes. Okay, they get rebates without ever baiting. With the earned income tax credit, all these excuses for every pimple and bump you ever get in your life, somebody throws money at you if you vote the right way. I think we all know that. Now, the other thing we got is Obama Library. They said that they stopped construction on it because of threats to the library, I guess, from all these crazy MAGA people running around trying to hurt people and stop democracy. Well, I discussed in a past broadcast that Obama's library has been sitting in limbo for years and years. Most other presidents, when they get out of office, they have their library well underway before they even leave office and finished a very short time after. Take a look at Ronald Reagan's library. They say it's beautiful. It's in California. Check it out. You can find information on it. Bill Clinton's library. They said it looks like something out of a trailer park, which is fitting. But you can check that out too. And Obama, I reported about a month ago that they had just gotten permits to move the soil, excavating and digging and doing foundation work. After how long has he been out of office? They haven't even taken a shovel and moved the dirt. Now, why is that? And now they're saying, well, we can't do anything on the job site because of the MAGA people threatening us. Is that right? Or is there another reason? Is there another reason? And if you saw the pictures I posted of that library, a lot of people were commenting that it looked something like what you'd see in Mecca. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it is very telling. Hi, Philo. How you doing? Hey, I saw your comment about your channel just as the live stream was going out last night, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep you in mind, my friend. Keep you in mind. After this video gets published in the hard comments, spell your channel out, and I'll check it out and subscribe just in case something happens to poor old Mountain Man. So anyway, that is very interesting about the Obama Library, why that thing has been in hiatus, and there's been really no development on it. And I remember reading articles that when Obama was transitioning with Trump, there were articles that mentioned that he was taking all his papers and that he did not turn anything of consequence over to the National Archives, but they assured us it was all being stored electronically and available for review. And then we found out what we found out about past presidents and how they stored their papers in a very flimsy manner compared to the high security detail at Mar-a-Lago. Let's see. Hi, Angel. Haha, how you doing, honey? If my finger lays on here too long, we go on the screen, but I don't think you mind that, do you, Angel? Yep, I see what you said, Melinda. They said they put something up there like that race car driver said he thought he saw with the rope. It must be a MAGA person. So just checking out the chats here. You say they have no money is why they're not doing the library? I think it might be a little bit more than that. I think it might be a little bit more than that. I think they match, the federal government matches money for libraries. And I don't think they're going to get federal money because of his status, his actual status. And that's something we can get into. If I go live on Rumble sometime, I'll talk a little bit more about that individual's actual status. What I think the problem is more concerning his legacy. Whoops. His legacy, I don't think is going to be constructed in a building that's going to honor that person. I'll put it that way. So, how's everybody doing? I heard that Kari Lake is finally starting to pull ahead in the votes. And I think that she is going to win. I saw some of Mr. T's posts where he was ringing the bell about their business going on there. Their shenanigans. I gotta be careful when I say that. But I think there's too much of a spotlight on him. But Nevada has flipped. GOP wins the governor race, and Sisolak is out. Okay? And everybody was thinking, oh, well, that's a lost cause. But turns out that it was not lost. Now, this business in New York with Lee Zeldin losing, I want to point out something. That they had to put a lot into that to make Zeldin lose. And while they're doing that, there were a lot of what they call down ballot. You have state delegates or state legislatures, a lot of different things. And I believe that what happened in New York with the focus on keeping Zeldin out was that a lot of the machine has been dismantled in New York. So Zeldin, yep, they came up short, but they had to deploy all their assets focusing on Zeldin, but they couldn't stop everything. and New York had it used to be when you had an election, you would get the newspaper the next day, and you can look at your state, you could look at the national results, your state results, and even your local results printed in the paper the next day. Very, very seldom did you not have a race decided that night and printed in the paper the next day. So it's kind of hard to keep track for people to say, who's my state representative now? Not who's your person going to the House of Representatives in Congress, but your state house. That's what I'm interested in, what happened at the local level, but I'm sure the White Hats are keeping an eye on that. Tubla, how you doing? Nice to see you in the chats. Now, about 15 minutes before I went live, I just put a little post up on Truth Social that I was going live. So I don't know if anybody's going to join us from Truth Social. I didn't give much warning, but I got 29 people, about 30 people following me. But I had, once in a while I post my videos on Truth Social. I'm going to start being a little more active. And if you're out there, I thank you so much for supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee. Rockin' Robin. And I might be working on some kind of a coffee club thing where I do a little DMing or private chats, or maybe even a couple of videos a month that club members can tune into. I don't know. It's run one building a day, right? So who out there still thinks after my talk on the last night, and if you came across this channel and didn't find out how I started on Mountain Man Says. So anyway, after our talk last night, who still thinks Ron DeSantis is a black cat? Tubla, yeah, I did it. I see what you're saying. You were only able to put Truth Social on your Android this week. I did a video that says how to do it, but you're already on there, so it doesn't matter. But I might do another video or repost that video. I might put a little short blurb on Truth Social about how to do it, so people can tell their friends. You don't have to wait. So anyway, who still thinks after our talk that you think he is, Debbie? Well, I'm gonna go over some of that stuff because he also getting a little dust up with Candace Owens, right? And Winsome Sears, some dust ups. But don't you know that's why the first thing I've got in my title is PSY-Ops? Well, hi, Nikki. Well, Bubba, we're going to try to make you sure, buddy. I'm going to talk it over and lay it out. Let me tell you, we got AOC. I'm going to go through, make sure I touch on everything in my title in case somebody tunes in about a specific thing in my title, but I don't get to it at the very end of the video. It makes people mad. They want to hear what I have to say about a certain thing in the title. So far be it from me to make somebody mad. Ha ha ha. On my other channel, I can post pictures, but I've got a copy of some comments, a little comment battle I got in, where You know how I do. Sometimes I do make people mad. Ha ha. That's all right. I don't mean to. Don't let somebody's fear be your fear. Don't let people drive you with their emotions. But AOC gave an interview to who? Let's see, Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace, who showed his colors uh, with Donald Trump when he moderated the debate. And we also have seen pictures of Chris Wallace stepping off a boat onto a dock with a person who decided that life was not worth living anymore. So they say. But anyway, Chris Wallace was interviewing AOC, and she felt she couldn't do something that we were told they're not going to be able to do. She didn't feel she could walk down the street. She's talking about getting her boyfriend to go with her because she's afraid, and her boyfriend's nickname is Howdy Doody. But isn't that ironic? And that's why I put in the title AOC Street Walking. I didn't want to put Street Walker because that would have been a pejorative, and so I just talked about her street walking. She can't walk down the street, according to her, because of, I guess, people that are in her mind, because there's nobody been reported. There's been no documented anything. Anybody giving her the finger or hollering at her or doing anything. But she's still afraid. Now, I wonder why that is. A lot of people have said that AOC was put in there to be so stupid and so outrageous on purpose to show what the Democratic Party is all about and how far out there they really are. That, in other words, she may be an actor. I don't know. But it's very strange that she came out with this interview to say, I don't feel safe walking down the street. And that is a very famous quote. Hi, Angel. All right, I said, didn't I say? I did already. Ha ha. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, that's right. Tubla says, find him by his thumbnail. You got to scroll way down. You look for the symbol you see on here, or the other one, which is the bat signal with Donald Trump's silhouette. I was going to put a little picture of a mountain man up, and one person has seen me. Let me see if they're in the chats. And Georgia, you're here. Hi, Georgia. You're the only one, honey, and you can vouch for me. I do look like a mountain man. And I was going to get a weed eater out and take care of some of this mess. But I tell you, there's only so much time in the day. Now, this Fetterman thing is a good example. Georgia said, that's right. I do look like a mountain man. But at the time, I looked like a mountain man just crawled out of the blackberry bush, which that's even worse. But anyway, we got Fetterman. And the next time I go live on the other channel, I got some... I got a meme I stole off somebody. I'm going to tune it up a little bit and then put it up. But you got this battle going on with that they're hyping up Trump DeSantis. And people are on our side are going, gee, I don't know, is DeSantis black hat? Well, is Candace Owen black hat? Is Winsome Sears black hat? Of course not. Has Ron DeSantis responded in any way derogatory toward Trump? No, he hasn't. What this is, it is a way to reduce the feeling that what's happening in this country and around the world is hero worship of Trump. Trump is getting in these little scuffles, and I believe every one of them are aware of the purpose of the scuffle. It is to make it acceptable for people who don't like Trump to still be on down with the program. Because has DeSantis done anything anti-MAGA? Has Candace Owens done anything anti-MAGA? Winsome Sears? No. But I had a friend of mine say, and I won't say who, because some of you know him, but he said that someone close to him said they would not vote Democrat if it was anybody else but Trump. They have had it drilled in their heads to hate Trump for so many years. We're talking years of false accusations, insults, not one good day in the press, not one good day. And that is another reason they're delaying these election results. The same reason they delayed Hillary conceding till 3 o'clock in the morning. In between those two bookends, we haven't had one good day in the press. Not one day to celebrate all the accomplishments, all the elections won, peace in the Middle East, energy independence, all these things we were never allowed to celebrate and was never put in the news in a good light. And until this media is whipped into shape, we're not going to have a good day publicly. We got to have our own party. So, but that kind of relentless propaganda is going to have people saying, gee, I really think the Republicans are better, but I just don't want to go along with Trump. Well, how about DeSantis? Will you go along with him? Yeah, I think I will. How about Winsome Sears? How about Candace Owens? They're at odds with Trump, but they still want what's best for the country. Yeah, you're right. In other words, this operation, this little banter back and forth, is to make people see that it's okay to be at odds with Trump, but to vote for making America great again. That's what it's all about. So it does not seem that this movement begins and ends with Trump. As Trump said, you have to plant the roots deep. And as I have said, nobody lives forever. The man is getting his later 70s, going to be 80. He's not going to be here forever. He's got to pass the baton. So you have these little, and the thing I brought the other night is all that old guard money and influence. The old guard, the Bushes, the Cheneys, the McStains, they're still there. They still have a lot of power in the party. Look how McConnell withheld money, except for Lisa Murkowski. If he'd have supported any of those Senate candidates at all, they would have won, period. But he withheld it. Now Trump gets in this little spat with DeSantis, and the old guard neocons uniparty jumps to DeSantis' aid, thinking they're going to be able to influence him in the future, but they release a lot of political support and a lot of cash. It was a psychological pickpocket operation. But not only that, it is also to get the people on the fence. The only reason they're not on board is because they don't like Trump. Okay, well, you're not the only one, but we're pulling for our country. It's not about Trump. That's what this PSYOP is about. Let me give you an example, or a couple of examples that can't be denied. Do you remember when Trump first stepped on the debate stage with 16 or 17 opponents, and he slapped every one of them flat? He didn't pull any punches. Remember what he said about Rand Paul? How are they doing now? Has Rand Paul done anything against MAGA, said anything to harm Trump? Trump is saying nothing but supportive things of Rand Paul. And Rand Paul is the point man for this medical situation, and with Dr. Fauci. Ted Cruz. Trump embarrassed him, said things about his father, made no bones about him feeling that he was more qualified to be president. And how's things now with Ted Cruz? He's going to put Ted Cruz on the Supreme Court. He didn't say, I want to put Ted Cruz. He said, I'm going to. Just like Kari Lake said, I'm going to win. She didn't say, I hope we're going to win. I think we're going to win. She said, I'm going to win. And Trump did not say, I'm thinking about, or I would like to, if. No, he said, I'm putting Ted Cruz on the Supreme Court. He's a very smart and capable person. But look at the history, what their relationship used to be. And here's another one. Marco Rubio. Little Marco. He went through him like Grant took Richmond. He made him look like a fool. He said he would never be elected dog catcher if he didn't straighten out. And I got a little something to say about Rubio, but he's doing all right now. He won big in Florida. And he's a bridge to the neocons and their power and their influence. But once people start putting that MAGA suit on and start to like the look and like the feel, and they're not on the side of losers, okay? Because what do I say? I just made a banner. Mountain Man says, losers are losers, period. And you get these people who are on the side of the Cheneys just because they've been with the old guard Republican Party since first George Bush, just because they got to go shake Cheney's hand, and Grandma thought the world would change, and all this stuff. They're going to like the feel of the MAGA suit if they can bridge the gap with people like Rubio, who are being preened and fawned over by the warmongering neocons, who Rubio is now in Trump's camp solid. You get Democrats who are true Democrats the way they used to be, like Hubert Humphrey, John F. Kennedy, real Democrats. Looking at this thing, I'm saying, oh my God, I got to vote for Fetterman. I can't stand this anymore. I look like a fool who I have to support to be in my party. I wish the Republicans didn't have Trump. Otherwise, I would be an independent and vote to put a stop to this stuff. Well, wait a minute. The Republicans wouldn't be where they're at if it wasn't for Trump. We know that. But this business of showing that there are different pages to this book, there are different levels, there are different tables to sit at, but in the same room. Okay? It's like Ronald Reagan said, I want more people peeing out of our tent than peeing in our tent. So we got to get as many people in the tent that are true to the cause and just get them to disregard the personality of the person that is stopping them from making that move. That is what this little tit for tat and back and forth is going on. But you look at what DeSantis has done, and I described it last night. He destroyed the Florida machine that kept that state where it could go either way for decades. Now there's no doubt it is solid red. And the people that have been put in place, not just the senator, not just the governor, but all the state houses, like I'm talking about with New York. Zeldin might have lost, but what did they get into the centers of power in the state of New York, the state government? I say there's big inroads. And I say the New York machine is running on 3 cylinders compared to 8 cylinders. And let me tell you, that's a big nut to crack when you get in New York and start rattling their cages in the New York machine. Now, it is just like what I think we can all agree, everybody who heard my broadcast last night, that the Trump being Speaker of the House is not workable. But, and for the reasons I said, because we stepped back and we looked at it. On the surface, yeah, Trump could be Speaker of the House, and then we do this and do that, and then put him back in office. On the surface, that all looks something to excite people. But when we do what we did last night and say, wait a minute, why does Trump need to go into that alley fight? That is going to be a back alley fight. What's coming up in Congress with all the plethora of crimes they can pick and choose. And where's the smartest place to start? Mountain Man, when the electric, Tuba, you can't put stuff like that in here. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bark. But this is the kind of stuff where I got to do something about that, bud. You can't put that kind of comment in. Oh shoot, this thing isn't working. Oh. You got to remove that. You got to remove that yourself, Tuba. Press on your comment and get it out of there. Okay, a lot of time, a lot of effort to do another channel and to tell everybody. Oh my gosh. Doesn't give me an option to remove that comment, but I wish you would. Nikki, you know how to remove a comment? Well, that takes me out my train of thought here. I got that floating around in the comments. How long we have been up? 39 minutes. I can go over this stuff tomorrow night. I don't need to be. Oh, that's right, honey. All right. I want to see that comment gone to block. Okay, it's gone. All right. Anyway, yeah, you can make comments. You just got to talk in circles, man. We know what you're talking about, but you know how they're doing stories on how dangerous these election deniers are. You know, haha. That's what they say. See, and that's the excuse. See, they blame me for whatever's in the comments. I'm not, trying to embarrass anybody or cause anybody problems. I'm just trying to protect the channel. So, where was I at? I gotta get with you. It's okay, Dupla, like it never even happened. I gotta get with you, Nikki, about it. Wrench. But you seen that commercial like it never even happened. And it might have people listening. It might have helped because someone else would have done the same thing if they hadn't heard this. So, and I might not have caught. So you always look for a silver lining, right? It's like Ronald Reagan said, the story about the little boy, Christmas, when he came down the steps, all he got under the tree was horse poop. And his parents were standing there, and kid was just excited and running around happy, and the parents were thinking he was going to be upset, and they were down in the mouth because there's nothing but horse poop under the tree. And they said to the kid, "Look what you got from Santa. Well, why are you happy?" He said, "With all this stuff around here, there's got to be a pony somewhere." Ha ha ha! That's one of Ronald Reagan's famous stories. Laxalt has lost. They called it for Cortez. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. That's why I didn't have Laxalt in my picture. Yes, Andy. Thank you, honey. It's not good, Bubba, that Laxalt was our man. So we'll see how things shake out because Trump was on Truth Social talking about redoing an election in Arizona, and I'm sure he'd consider calling for that elsewhere. I had somebody, a nice person in the other place, sent me a message saying, "What do you think the Trump's going to say on the 15th?" And I messaged her back and said that I was going live on and that I'm Mountain Man too. So I don't know if they get here or not, but I said I know what I'd like him to say, but I tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me if Trump did announce, and as we discussed, okay, the first thing I was talking about was where we all put this business of him being Speaker of the House to bed because we know the inner workings and why psychologically it would be bad for him to be Speaker of the House. Okay, now all these little battles that I'm discussing, I'm just telling why psychologically it would be a benefit to expand people who'd be willing to come into our party, be out of the tent and in the tent, to have these little rifts and how it happened in the past, and it's been mended, and everybody's on the same train. Okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is if Trump announces that he's going to be run for president in 2024, that does not mean he concedes 2020. It's simply saying that he's going to run for 2024. And as I mentioned, as the way the Constitution is with a two-term limit, if you serve 2 years or less of a term, that does not prohibit you from running for 2 full terms. So those are 3 big issues we've gotten out of the way, 3 or 4 big issues with most of it pertaining to psychological operations as far as smoothing out this anti-Trump bias, this hero worship, that this movement is nothing more than hero worship of Trump. No, we're showing that there are people that have problems with Trump are still down with the movement, okay? And that's a big one. So anyway, those are all things that we can enumerate that we've discussed on this channel, and I hope that we all agree, on. And if you don't, well, we can talk about it some more. But now, so if Trump announces I'm going to run for 2024, they're going to say, oh, we figured that's what he was going to do. There's no big news here. Well, wouldn't it be nice if Trump said that he was formally making criminal complaints? Did you know if somebody steals something from you and there's not a policeman around, you have to make a criminal complaint? If somebody punches you and there's nobody around but you and the person that punched you, you have to go make a criminal complaint. A lot of states is a magistrate. Sometimes you just go to the police, but you make a criminal complaint. Congress calls it a criminal referral. They make a criminal referral, just like Rand Paul did with Dr. Fauci. There is a criminal referral, active criminal referral about Fauci and gain of function. Very serious. So wouldn't it be nice if DJT said, I'm making a criminal complaint? A formal written criminal complaint, I'm filing it with the Justice Department. John Durham, I'm filing a criminal complaint with a special prosecutor. Just a thought. Let me check. I see Wanda was asking some questions. Let me see here what we got. We are tearing the whole system down, Nikki. Watch how it gets torn down. That's another thing I'm going to touch on is these judges. You don't make a criminal complaint in court. You do it in a magistrate. You can do it to a magistrate. Any constitutional officer, I'm sure you've heard that let's see. I'm getting these. Lost my train of thought there, but these judges didn't hear any evidence, but we're seeing a lot of judges being put in positions where they have to show their cards. We're talking about tearing down the system. We're talking about judges too, and the media. Okay, all the different facets that are our government or influence our government are going to be dismantled. You have that judge that approved a government minder to look over the Trump organization's business. That's a direct violation of the Constitution. Here you have an unregulated body that can penetrate into private corporations' business dealings without cause. So that's one judge. Then you have a judge that I did a story about who I said needed to be removed from the bench because he said Trump needs to be removed from office just because he thinks he's a bad guy. This is the judge, the same judge I was talking about 4 or 5 months ago is the one that is handling these cases. One of these cases about overseeing Trump's private business. In other words, fishing for a crime. A judge can't do that. But back to this thing about a criminal complaint. You can make a criminal complaint to a magistrate in when it comes to treason, any constitutional officer. As a matter of fact, the statute reads, I'm paraphrasing, that you have a duty as far as treason or sedition, especially, you have a duty to report it and to document that you reported it to a constitutional officer. If you see someone committing treason, suborning treason, or sedition, and don't report it, you can get in trouble. So I'm thinking he's going to make a formal report or referral or complaint to a constitutional officer documented that he's reporting treasonous or seditious acts. That is just what I would like to see happen. But because you are required to by statute, as soon as practicable, you have to report anything you witness. Because if you remember the Constitution, treason is the only crime defined in the Constitution, and it requires witnesses, 2 witnesses. So they want to play that game. If they say they're judges, they say they're doing their job for democracy. Okay. How about you do your job for the Constitution? Here I'm reporting something and everybody except Ray Charles can see. Just looking at the chats here. Ha ha ha. Getting your demo tools. Demo work at. I've done a lot of that in my day. Tell you, it's a lot easier to tear something down than just put something back together. It's a lot easier to take a car apart than put it back together. It's a lot easier to tear down a building than it is to build one. That's right, Mike. We are a republic, a democratic republic. Pure democracy is the road to tyranny. That is a communist leader's dream, is to make everybody think democracy, pure democracy is the way to go. Because then all you got to do is excite the mob. So anyway, boy, we've covered a lot. We've covered a lot, and I didn't even have notes about that. Reporting treason. That is a legal requirement of all citizens who witness sedition or treason is to report it as soon as practicable, immediately to a constitutional officer, and to document who they reported it to. Because if what hits the fan, and they say, "Hey, you knew about this. You broke the law." You can say, "No, I didn't. I told Judge Pumpkin right here. I wrote down the day and time and everything. Judge Pumpkin. I told him all about it." Or I told Sheriff Potbelly. I told him. because they're the ones who took the oath. They're the ones who get the paycheck. They're the ones who are acting under the color of law. So, I went on a tangent again. You know, they're going to have a hard time explaining these split tickets in some of these states. Kari Lake is going to win, I'm hoping, six figures in the hundreds of thousands. They said at least 70,000. I'm hoping it's a six-figure spread. How are they going to explain that Blake Masters didn't win, but Kari Lake did? There isn't a dime worth of difference in their positions, so you're going to have people say, oh, I like Kari Lake's positions. Blake Masters are exactly the same, but I didn't vote for him. Or I just went to vote for governor. I didn't vote for senator. Yeah, right. I'm thinking that this is all been a gigantic sting operation, and this is part of the operation. This is a sub-part of the operation. So, let me check these chats out. I might have made a mistake about Laxalt and Combardo. I'm sorry if I got that mixed up. I was a little shell-shocked, worried about the chats, and I might have made a mistake there. But anyway, I can't read my own writing. Tubala, are you still out there, buddy? Don't worry about it. Stick with us, mister. Okay, buddy, we got work to do. We got work to do getting the word out and keeping channels up, buddy. Tubala, if you're still out there, hi, Sin. How you doing, honey? Or buddy? Ha ha. Yeah, that's right. I'm like a Wolverine. I'm going to put that up. But anyway, I put up that comment that losers are losers, period, because they're acting like they're winners. You had Biden come out and make a statement that this business of checking on Hunter is almost like comedy. Yeah, we'll see about the comedy. We'll see how funny that is. And that there was no blue wave. Breitbart reported that. Joe Biden, threats of Hunter Biden investigation from Republicans, almost comedy. They're acting like they got nothing to worry about. But this judge, here's the article, judge won't block monitor to oversee Trump organization. There's no basis in law for that. And I believe that well, here's that guy I was arguing with. I'll have to put him up. And Red went live. Okay. Anyway, I believe he's the same one that said Trump should be taken out of office or convicted or whatever just because he's a bad guy. Actually publicly made that statement. Those are the kind of judges that need to be removed. And what we're doing is we're putting things before them, like the judge that sanctioned Trump's attorneys for trying to present a case against Hillary Clinton, the evidence, a lot of which has been seized by the FBI by raiding Trump's home. That judge needs to be removed, and this one that has proved the monitor, and all these other cases that are going up to the Supreme Court and getting turned around on black and white the black letter of the law. Judges who are not following the black letter of the law, that's why the House is so important. The sole authority to impeach belongs with the House. Then you're going to have a lot of Republicans. Are you going to go on the side of Fetterman? Duh. And vote not to impeach? You're going to actually do that? Let's see what happens to you in 2024. Rhino. Warmonger George Bush and Zelensky hold meeting urging GOP to continue to fund the war in Iraq. This is George Bush Jr. meeting with Zelensky. We know that's a criminal regime. We know there's money laundering. We know there's pharmaceutical labs. We know all this stuff. And this is a former president of the United States meeting with that person that we've given billions of dollars to. Oh, I don't know, Jordan, maybe. There's Tubla. How you doing, buddy? Biden said last week on video he'd make sure Trump never runs again. Yeah, he said a lot on video. Son of a, and he said that if he didn't get his way, they weren't going to get money. They weren't going to get that foreign aid. Quid pro quo criminal act on tape. And these liberals, TDS, and that's what I got going on right now. A guy with another channel, I should never talk to him. He didn't have but 29 views, but he's a doctor. He doesn't sound very bright. Trump calls DeSantis an average governor, says he was politically dead before endorsing him. The other thing with this taking swipes at people, there's another facet to it, another purpose. If you'll remember, he said about Elon Musk, he would get down on his hands and knees and kiss my feet. Remember that? So he hasn't been flattering to Elon Musk. He has not massaged his ego, but Elon Musk is on board. So a lot of times if Trump picks on people, the black hats don't pick on the people he's picking on. It is a way to get them to lower their weapons. It's a psyop that gets them dizzy. They don't know how to take it. They don't know what the best move is. And they're running out of moves, believe me. They're running out of moves. Now, I touched a little bit on the Titanic, the last conversation, and I want to point. A lot of people have checked it out very good. A lot of people going off on some things that get a little wild and doesn't really apply. A lot of people, but they know the basics. A lot of people say, "What are you talking about the Titanic?" Well, it's hard to ignore the fact that the Titanic sank, and then in 1913 we got the Federal Reserve. In 1916 we got the amendment to tax individuals, first time in American history, where the government had control over your personal life, totally antithetical to the Constitution's purpose. But the Titanic, the people that were victims in the Titanic, if you look at it, the captains of industry, the billionaires that perished, how they got on that boat, how there was no room for them to get to a lifeboat. You had some politically powerful, business-wise, they were very powerful captains of industry all die. And big names like Guggenheim. You can look it up and see how many of them lost. What were their reputations? What were their reputations? I can tell you that no one has shown me any evidence that any of the victims on the Titanic were members of any secret society that we associate with the destruction of our way of life. They were anti-communist. They all viewed themselves as the spirit of 1776 independence, American ingenuity. They were all people of faith, and they were removed from the political picture and from the financial picture. Every single one of them. None of them were tied to any of the principalities, any of the families, any of the secret societies. And what do they say? There are no coincidences. So that's a little something for somebody to think about. Now, if somebody researches somebody's name and says, oh, they were a member of, if they remember some goofy thing like Barney and Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone, the water buffaloes or something, that doesn't count. You guys know what I'm talking about. Now, Kari Lake. Kari's nightmare. Kari the nightmare. She said, they said, are you thinking about running for president or vice president? And she told John Jacob Astor, Guggenheim, Isidor Straus. Yep. Thank you, Georgia. I'll put that up there for history. And that you have the book Kid by the Side of the Road, Nikki. That's 107. Wasn't there two boats? Yes, there was what they call a sister ship. A sister ship. So, Kari said, have you been covering the campaign? Because I've already addressed this. I mean, she made a chump out of the reporter. But she said, look, I'm going to be here for 2 terms. Okay? And I'm going to be your worst nightmare. And she also was accused of funny business with the votes. And she said, well, guess what? If I win, I'm still going to audit. I'm still going to order on audits. Now, let me tell you, that is their worst nightmare. So I tell you, it's hard not to really like Kari Lake. And she's talking from a playbook that I guarantee you, everybody, we are talking about getting in these little skirmishes and battles with Trump currently and in the past. I've named them, quite a few of them: Cruz, Rubio, Rand Paul. Then now you got DeSantis, you got Winsome Sears, you got all these people are reading the same playbook from the same meetings, the fruit of the same meetings concerning this movement and the direction of this country. They're on the same page, and the page is you have just enough friction to destroy the myth that the only reason we like Trump is because we're a bunch of groupies, okay? We're going to dispel that myth. All right, guys, I've gone an hour and 9 minutes. And I'm sorry I messed up on
Laxalt, and I think it was spelled Lay. I don't know, but I got that mixed up with that Sheriff Lombardo veteran. I'll get into that. I don't know if I'm going to do a live tomorrow night or not on the other setup, or do one here, or might just go a day and then do one, because I got a lot of posting to do on other sites. I want to do something. Got Frank's speech going. I got Truth Social going. Odyssey. I received a email from Odyssey about uh, broadcasting there. Nikki, I don't know if you know anything about that. Pretty boy. Oh, Georgia, call me pretty boy. Oh, you can't be talking to me, sweetie. But Nikki, do you know anything about Odyssey? Uh, and also, I'm thinking about doing some private supporter. Oh gosh, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. This channel is totally viewer supported and creator supported. I have a link for Buy Me a Coffee if you want to help the channel out. If that's not in the cards for you right now, because you are, like I have been many times in my life, so broke that you can't spend the night, please put a comment in after the video is finished. That helps the word to get around. Share the video and hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down if you think I'm doing a bad job. Now, how's that for uh, whatever? Now let's go and get into this business of Navarro. Trump's attorney being arrested and having his phone seized, and how that plays into contempt of charges, contempt of Congress charges on a past administration, Fast and Furious. I'm going to circle that, and we will discuss it in the next live stream, because I think some of it has to do with our 17th letter, and maybe Nick and I can get up and do a little dive on some, just to show people a little this and that and tricks and things, so it's easier to go through the 17th letter without getting off on things that are confusing or not really relevant, um, because they're just not sure which buttons to hit, or what's relevant, or really how to do some research on that uh, site. Now, anyway, so Nikki and I'm going to talk to Nikki about it. But no, Nikki, I don't know anything about it. I know a little bit about it. A lot of people rave about it, but why they would send me an email, I got no idea. So somebody's on my side, right? Oh, I do want to say one other thing. We got a bunch of people left the chats, but uh, and we know. I wonder if he watches me sometimes. And if you do, give me a shout out, would you? Because let's see, what did he say? After I did a broadcast, probably a week after he did, I did. He came up with the same verbiage that I used. I'll talk about that in another live stream. Exact same verbiage on the exact same thing popped up out of the blue. So LT, if you're listening to me, give me a shout out if that's the case, buddy. I've given you shout outs. Okay. So you all have a great night. I appreciate you joining me. And we'll be posting in the future. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't know about I'm Mountain Man 2. And then there's a guy on Mountain Man Says. You might want to listen to him. He's pretty good too. All right, Bubba, find me on Truth Social, buddy. And tomorrow, okay. Well, we'll let's see. Tomorrow's Sunday, right? I might go into the big city for a bit. We'll see. Ha. But when I get back, I can do something. Do something on StreamYard. Like I said, these live streams suck the data. All right, folks. Philo, you have a good evening. Everybody else have a good evening. And hey, be upbeat. Winners are winners and losers are losers. And it ain't over, far from it. They lost a lot of control. Y'all have a great night, and I'll be seeing you soon.